Hello guys, welcome once again to my YouTube channel, and today is going to be a very interesting video because I have a few plants that I have acquired, right? These are epipremiums. I have got this aurea, I have got an albo, I have got a mint variegation of the epipremium as well, and I have got this one which I have much awaited and I was not able to find in any one of the nurseries, but I have finally found one, and this is called the Jose Bauno, and I'm going to pot all of these plants. I'm going to show you the aeroid mix that I use for potting all sort of aeroids, and what is the moss pole that I use basically when I pot these aeroids. So my goal is to grow them to their full potential where they will have huge and large leaves, right? And for that reason, what I do is, if you all come and see how I build my moss poles. So this is how I build my moss poles. You'll see that I've got 4 of these, okay? And I have got this net which is coated. Now if you come closer, you will see that this is a coated net, wire net that I have got, and I've just cut it. This is a 4-footer, and I have joined, made a circle like a cylindrical shape, and I have joined uh, the edges of the net with the help of some, you will see here, zip ties, right? That's what I have done. And the filling that I have used, this filling is basically this is cocoa chips, and I have got some sphagnum moss mixed. Now in case if you can afford and you can, fill this up completely with sphagnum moss, nothing like it, but sphagnum moss is not that cheap here, and that's the reason why I have mixed half sphagnum moss and half cocoa chip. Now it's very hot and I'm sweating, but I'm going to show you how I put together the aeroid mix. So if you will come to my station here, we'll see how we can build a proper aeroid mix. Now I've got a few ingredients that I will use. Okay, now before I use all of my ingredients, okay, he wants to be in the video as well. Anyways, before I use all my ingredients, this thing that I have, it's a mix that I had from my previous pottings. Okay, so I'll use this as well. And when you create a mix, okay, the things that I'm going to show you one by one, you can put or arrange all of this together and build the substrate yourself, right? Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use some protection and I'm going to wear this glove that I have. Okay, he's being a good boy. Okay, it's not that interested. Let's go ahead and use my gloves. Okay, now I'm going to make the mixture for 4 pots, which are of this size. These are the same pots that I will use. Okay, and I've already made some drainage holes, and this is what we're going to use. The first ingredient that I will use here is going to be this. So if you come closer, this is worm casting, and this is going to provide all of the minerals, all of the nutrients the soil needs, the substrate needs, right, at the beginning in the initial phase. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and dump that in. Okay, now whenever you are making mixtures, substrate for aeroids, you have to understand that the mixture needs to be very chunky, um, and they love aeroids, they love air in the soil, and that's the reason why they're called aeroids. They love air in the soil, they love oxygen in their roots, and the other thing that they love is they love a very moisture retaining substrate. So that is what we're going to achieve here, right? So our worm casting is in. Now the other thing that we're going to use here is a potting mix that I generally get from my nursery. And in case if you don't have a potting mix, okay, this is just a general potting mix. I have shown it in my channel previously as well, but in case if you do not get a potting mix Okay, if you don't have a potting mix, basic potting mix, then what you can do is, so this is my basic potting mix. In case if you do not have a potting mix, you can just go ahead and dump in some cocoa peat here as well. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, and I think this much will be enough, okay, for the mix. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix that in very well. It's done. So I'm going to mix, as I put everything here, right? The next thing that I will do is I'll put these. What are these? These are tree bark. Now, in case if you can get pine bark, nothing like it, an orchid bark, right? But I've just acquired these from my local trees. But just make sure, in case if you're getting any tree bark, make sure that that's not a variety that you don't want to put in your mix, right? That's not toxic, that's not going to be harmful for your plants. So mainly what I have done is, all of the tree barks that I have got, these are from jackfruit trees, so I know that they'll not do any harm. Actually, they'll do very good thing, because tree bark naturally has some biochar, and they're very useful in nitrogen fixation. Okay, so, and aerating the soil. So I'll just go ahead and put some tree bark here as well. Okay, mix that in. Now the next thing that I will use here is, I'll use some charcoal. So if you see, this will also provide good biochar into the mix. So what basically biochar does is, it provides a platform for beneficial bacteria to grow and fix nitrogen in the soil and make nitrogen available to your plants. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a generous amount of this charcoal, wood charcoal that I had, and I think that's going to be sufficient for um, 4 pots. And I'm going to go ahead and put perlite as well. Okay, now perlite, a lot of people have asked me if they can substitute this with thermocol. No, you can't substitute this with thermocol, because in case if you put thermocol, what happens is, under the soil pressure, they will go ahead and become flat. But these will retain moisture, these will retain nutrients in the media, and make the media more aerated as well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we'll put some perlite in the mix as well. Okay, so when you're doing this, make sure, I have not got one, I should have got one, but make sure that you're wearing a mask, because of the dust that comes out of this perlite, right? So the perlite I had has become a bit dusty when it arrived, but I think it's going to be fine. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and mix all of these ingredients in as we go. As done. The next ingredient that we will use is, we will use cinder. Now this is a very good substitute of perlite. Okay, in case if we don't have perlite, and this is basically, this is this comes from broilers, where charcoal is heated to intense temperatures, and you will see that they have become light, and they can aerate the soil, at the same time hold moisture, and they will go ahead and do the same thing as your charcoal. They will provide that biochar, and that's going to help with nitrogen fixation in the soil, right? So we're going to go ahead and put some uh, cinder in as well. Now there is no such recipe that you strictly need to follow. This is what I do generally, because all of these ingredients are available uh, in the place where I live. Okay, but in case if you don't get any one of these ingredients, it's okay, you can always substitute. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some cinder in. I think that's going to be enough. Mix it once again. I think a little bit more I will use. Okay, now Another ingredient I will use here is, this is neem cake dust, right? And what this will do is, this is going to prevent fungus, this is going to prevent any insects from dwelling in the soil. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this, put this, don't put much because it has a tendency to burn the leaves and the roots. 2 handful is, I think, is going to be quite enough for this mixture. We're just going to mix once again. Okay, now this mixture that I have, this is eggshell dust and this is bone meal, right? So this is bone dust and eggshell dust. This will provide the soil with good amount of phosphorus during the initial phase, which will help in development of the roots. Okay, so it holds a lot of phosphate that's going to help in rooting. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead, and this is horn dust. This is also available in my area, so I thought that I'll put this one in as well in mixture. Okay, you can avoid and you can just go ahead and put bone meal as well, no problem. But this is horn dust, so I'll just put some horn dust in there as well. So these are the horns and the hooves which are crushed and then made available for plants in the local nurseries. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix everything in. So I'm sweating like a pig here. So 2 more ingredients to go, and these will be the final 2 ingredients that I will mix here. So what I have here is, I have cocoa chips. That's going to provide a lot of aeration to the soil, to the substrate. And I'm going to go ahead and be very generous with this. I think that's going to be enough. Okay, and we're going to put some antifungal powder in there as well. The one that I am using is SAAF, just to be on the safe side, so that we are safe from any fungal infection. Mix everything in. This is the reason why I said don't forget your mask. Do wear protection, guys, when you're doing this. Okay, one last ingredient I'm going to put in there to make the soil more airy is this is rice husk, and this is an excellent substrate, uh, excellent thing to put in a substrate when you're making a aeroid mix like this. And when this decomposes, it's going to put a lot of micronutrients in the soil as well. I think 4 handful is going to be quite enough. And let's mix once again. Now take a look at this. This is what we want, free flowing, and this is super for all your aeroids, your philodendrons, your monsteras, your alocasias. Use this and you will get awesome results. This is as good as the Aroid mixture you can create can get. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and pot one of the plants that I have, just to show you how I pot them. I'm just going to go ahead and spray this with some water before I use it. This is the moss pool that I'm going to use. First thing that I'm going to do is fill the bottom of this moss pool with some Aroid mix. Okay, and just go ahead and take one of these pots. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to seal the bottom of the pot with this rock where the drainage hole is. So I'm just going to show you. This is the drainage hole. I'm going to seal it with one of this. Okay, and go ahead and fill it up with the Aroid mix. Okay, now I've got a good amount of Aroid mix here already. So I'm going to go ahead and put this moss pool here as well. Okay, and fill this up with some Aroid mix first. I think that's stable. So now what we can do is we can bring in one of the plants. So take it out of the pot. Put out all the, so it's got a good root system here, as you can see. And when you're potting, you have to understand that the purpose is that it needs to climb the moss pool, right? So you will see, you will have to see where, which direction is the plant going. So it's going this direction, right? So this is where the point is, that's going to climb the pole. So what we're going to do is we'll have to put it against the pole and then come in with the Aroid mix once again. Okay, so this is going to be the point that's going to climb, as you can see, and I'm going to fill it up with the Aroid mix. Some more. And I think that is going to be stable enough. So what we'll do is, let's just go ahead and do a check if this is going to fall off or not. And I don't think that this is going to fall off now. See, now another thing that we will do is we'll just tie the plant against the moss pole. Okay, so it can get a better grip of the moss pole and start climbing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and simply very loosely tie it up with the moss pole so that it gets a grip on the moss pole as it grows. Okay, and that's it, that's done. I'll just chop these off, and that's it, that's done. All we need to do now is water this, and that's going to be it. So we're just going to go ahead and water this right now. So just going to gently water this, water the moss pool here as well. Okay, that's it guys. In case if you have liked the video, please subscribe, like the videos, and do share your comments on how you've liked the video. And until the next video guys, take care, bye bye.